Well, once again, I'm going to give you a apology here for having to come out and tell you again about the retail apocalypse, which is spreading faster than the wildfires in Florida currently. Add another one. Bebe bites the dust, and another one does, and another one does. Bebe bites the dust. And even CNN's reporting on this one. CNN. Bebe is closing all of its stores. The latest casualty in retail. Did you catch that? Not shuttering. Subway shutters 359 stores for the first time in its history. No, not that. Even though I just did that video. Not that one. Because they still got a bunch of stores left. And overseas, their stores are doing pretty good. You mean to tell me they're sucking in America and they had to close down the American some of the American stores? Yes. You're being lied to by the fake economic job reports, all of it. Unemployment's down to 4.8%. You believe that crap? 4.8%? You think, well, after a person's on unemployment for 99 weeks and that's over, well, we just assume they got a job. So we don't count them anymore. People we've known didn't have jobs. We just don't track, of course, because they got tired of looking and they got fed up and stopped. We don't count them either. So we've got 4.8% unemployment. Fantastic time for America. But every metric, data, chart that comes into my possession does not, under any circumstances, go in line with that crap. And I'm saying, why can't the government, the Federal Reserve, the financial spokespeople of the news, why can't anybody talk about this? You mean to tell me CNN actually they decided, all right, CNN, it's time to let you run an article, a news story on this, finally, because we can't hide it anymore, and we're about to go to war anyways, like we always do when we can't hide it anymore. So go ahead and run the story. Bebe is closing all its stores, the latest brick and mortar retailer, to get dumped by customers who would rather shop with their phones than with their feet. So CNN is saying this is all because of online shopping. No other reason. Amazon, again, it's Amazon's fault. But I already showed you in one of my previous videos about this same topic that the data says no, Amazon doesn't take the majority of those sales. There's still retail walk-in places. CNN's going to tell you, no, it's the phone ordering online that's doing it. Okay, so Bebe could not figure out that that's happening. And guys, we're going to now consolidate all of our stores. Give us all of that stuff back. We're going to put it in a big warehouse and we're going to create an outlet similar to Amazon. It's going to be Bebe, and you can come online and shop for your stuff online. Nope. We're just going to shut them all down because we're going to blame it on that. And even Bebe is not necessarily blaming it. It's CNN that's blaming it on, online stores. But I had an ex-girlfriend. So this would have been right around the year 2000. Okay? To give you an idea, the year 2000. And she would go, and I don't remember the store, she would go online and buy her clothes. She loved the little tops and shirts. And all. She'd buy her stuff online. And it would come to her, and it would fit, no problem. So before anyone says, oh, yeah, but you can't, Bebe is mostly about clothing. You got to try stuff on. Not necessarily. Especially anyone that's ever shopped at Bebe, you know what size. If they say, well, I'm a size 10 as a woman, whatever, I'm a size 10. Be kind of, I'll be nice. Size 1. I'm a size 1. And when I go to Bebe, I already know when I get there. When it says size 1, it's size 1. So I know I can go right online and do the same thing. It'll be a size 1 because it's still them. So all of that customer base for all these years would easily be able to go online and know Bebe is exactly, when they say size 1 to size 1, or maybe I need to order a size 2 from Bebe, even though I'm a size 1. Or maybe you like to tell yourself you're a size 1, but you're not, you're a size 4 or 5. Like the rest of us fat bastards. I like to put on my 34 pants and say, oh, that's kind of Wait a minute, that's kind of tight. Wait a minute, I used to wear 32s, and these 34s are tight. Maybe it's the brand. Get another brand. No, actually it's not. You've been sitting a little bit too much, JSnip4. That's what that is. So speaking of, again, the retail apocalypse, I think Zero Hedge is going to cover it the best, even though I had to read that little piece from CNN. And they got a whole article, but I'm not reading a whole article from CNN. I can't give them any credit. Because it's CNN. No thanks. The retail bubble has now burst. A record 8,640 stores are closing in 2017. But we're only at the end of April. Yeah, I know. It's still early, right? Yeah, I get it. But so far, 8,640 stores are closing. Thousands of new doors opened and rents soared. This created a bubble. And like housing, that bubble has now burst. And by the way, speaking of empty retail outlets such as malls and things, I just read, may have also been Zero Hedge, I think. They're now using the empty parking lots to bring in circuses. Bring the circus in and make some use of the space because we're dying. Clients are leaving. We can't sell retail space to anybody. So let's bring a freaking circus in here. Well, if that's the case, I'll get all the clowns and circus personnel you need. I will call the federal government, the Federal Reserve especially. Bring those clowns over here, and we can all go over there and try to dunk them. Throw the water and dunk them in the water. Throw the ball at the little thing and dunk them. If you need a bunch of clowns, I got plenty for you. The devastation in the U.S. retail sector is accelerating in 2017, and in addition to the surging number of brick-and-mortar retail bankruptcies, it is perhaps nowhere more obvious than in the soaring number of store closures. While the shuttering of retail stores has been a frequent topic on this website, most recently in the context of the next big short, namely the ongoing deterioration in the mall rentals, etc., real estate, and associated commercial-backed, mortgage-backed securities and credit default swaps. Here is a stunning fact from Credit Suisse. Barely a quarter into 2017, year-to-date, retail store closings have already surpassed those of 2008. Wonder where we're heading, guys. Where are we heading? Recession? No. Recovery. We're still in recovery. We're not going to have a recession. Excuse me. We're overdue. And since they didn't let the last one really play out like it should have, the next one has to be worse. Because we let all that crap build up. More debt got created. More bubbles got created. According to the Swiss bank's calculations, on a unit basis, approximately 2,880 store closings were announced year to date, more than twice as many closings as 1,153 announced during the same period last year. Historically, roughly 60% of store closure announcements occur in the first 5 months of the year. By extrapolating the year-to-date announcements, Credit Suisse estimates that there could be more than 8,640 store closings this year, which will be higher than the historical 2008 peak of approximately 6,200 stores that closed, which suggests that for brick-and-mortar stores, the current transition period is far worse than the depth of the credit crisis depression. So let's let that sink in. Well, Bebe is closing stores because of online sales outlets. They can't compete. Oh, really? We're in 2017. They just said 6,200 closings were in 2008. That was a long time back. 9 years ago. It's 9 years ago. So you can't use that as an excuse, which is what I've been trying to say this whole time. So again, which suggests that for brick and mortar stores, the current transition period is far worse than the depth of the credit crisis depression. So if this is playing out like 2008, and I keep coming out here doing these videos, hey, such and such just happened. The last time this happened was 2008 and 9. Last time this happened, 2008 and 2009. Last time the market crashed, these two events happened, market crashes, we haven't seen those since, 1929, dot-com bubble, or 2008, 2009. Most of those keep going back to 2008, 2009. We haven't seen these numbers that bad since 2008 and 9. So 2017 and 18 could unfold like 2008 and 9 did. So at the end of 2008, we had the crash. 2009, bailouts. Everything was crashing down. Prices were going down. 2010 and 11, horrible real estate prices. Which would mean, again, if history's repeat like that, 2019, 2020, the latest, we ought to be getting some fire sale deals on real estate. And if they actually let this crash happen and deal with it the way it's supposed to be dealt with and not try to pump it up again, because I just don't think they could really do that again. Then again, you don't even know the power of the Federal Reserve printing money out of control. But nonetheless, there's going to be some fire sales to be had. And that's what I'm hoping, just hoping, one time for the good guys. Let metals prices break out in the near future, because I don't care if they break out in 2017, 2018, 2019, or even 2020. You know why? Because if the best real estate prices out there, by chance, are 2019 or 2020, I don't have a problem waiting till 2019 to 2020 for silver to go crazy. And then I can just go buy a house cash. However, if silver goes crazy this year or even next year, finally, I can still sell it off for the great prices it brings and then sit on the cash and then say, okay, I'll wait a year or two because I know from the trend right now, real estate is going to be dumping. And in that case, I'll hold the cash and then, okay, now I'm ready to buy. Doesn't make any difference to me. The only real reason I'd want it to, start metals to really go up like in 2019 or 2020 is because all of the new people that subscribe to me or are just figuring it out on their own whether they know me or not, I need to get in on precious metals. I see what's going on. This isn't right. I can feel it. I need to get into metals. But they have a limited budget. They can buy so much per month or so much per every few months or year. And I want those people to be able to get in on metals before the prices go crazy. Because that's just how I am. I want everyone who is awake or is at least awakening and realizing what the hell's going on to be able to protect themselves. But clearly, 2019 and 2020 will come. And I could say the same thing then, because there's going to be a whole bunch of new people figuring this stuff out for themselves for the first time. So all I can say to those new people, I hope you got a credit card on standby for emergency use. And the emergency is going to be when you see metals jump a huge number in one day and say, oh my God, that never happened before. You better pull the trigger if you haven't on that credit card, if you don't have another way to pay for those metals. So, as the Wall Street Journal calculates, at least 10 retailers, including limited stores, electronics chain H.H. Gregg, and sporting good chain Gander Mountain, have filed for bankruptcy protection so far this year. Which reminds me, I need to stop over at H.H. Gregg. There might be some good deals over there. I keep saying it and I forgot all about it. That compares with 9 retailers that declared bankruptcy with at least $50 million in liabilities for all of 2016. On Friday, women's apparel chain Bebe Stores said it would close its remaining 170 shops. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Hold the phone. And sell online only. Bebe, you're doing it. While teen retailer Rue 21 Inc. announced plans to close about 400 of its 1,100 locations. So that's a quarter. Slightly more than a quarter. No, wait a minute. No. 4 times 3 is 1,200. 400 times 3. That means this is slightly more than a third of their stores. And broken down by retailer, either in bankruptcy or not yet, Radio Shack, Payless, Rue 21, The Limited, Family Christian, Bebe, Wet Seal, Crocs, JCPenney, BCBG, American Apparel, Kmart, H.H. Gregg, Staples, CVS, Macy's, Abercrombie and Fitch. Let's call in Miles Finch. The Miles Finch? Yes, let's call him in here. Guess, Sears, Gander Mountain. Another striking fact, on a square footage basis, approximately 49 million square feet of retail space has closed year to date. Should this pace persist by the end of the year, total square footage reductions could reach 147 million square feet, another all-time high, and surpassing the historical peak around the dot-com bubble timeframe of 2001, which was 115 million. There are several key drivers behind the avalanche of liquidity signs on the storefronts. The first is the glut of residual excess retail space. As the Wall Street Journal writes, the seeds of the industry's current turmoil date back nearly 3 decades when retailers, in the throes of consumer buying spree and flush with easy money, rushed to open new stores. The land grab wasn't unlike the housing boom that was also underway at that time. Thousands of new doors opened and rents soared, Richard Hain, chief executive of Urban Outfitters, Inc., told analysts last month. This created a bubble, and like housing, that bubble has now burst. The excess retail space means that North America has a glut of retail outlets as well as far too many shopping malls, something which is becoming apparent as sales per capita decline. On a per capita basis, the U.S. has roughly 24 square feet of retail space per capita, more than twice the space of Australia and 5 times that of the United Kingdom. The overstoring, including the influx of fast fashion and off-price chains, has resulted in a brutally competitive landscape that made it difficult for retailers to raise prices. A pair of men's dress pants costs less today than they did a decade ago. Manny Chirico, chief executive of Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger parent PVH Inc., said in a recent interview. Then there are retail rental rates, which across top U.S. markets such as New York remain the highest in the world. For many years, retailers could afford the egregious demands by landlords. But as overall traffic and volumes have declined, this has also prompted an exodus of outlets even among the most desired locations, leading to a surge in for rent or lease signs popping up in unexpected places like Madison Avenue's Golden Mile. According to the Financial Times, on New York's Fifth Avenue, the world's most expensive shopping street, vacancy rates have jumped from 10% a year ago to 16%, according to Cushman & Wakefield. Rents have fallen for the first time since the recession, and the trend is not over, the consultancy firm warns. Vacancy rates also across Soho have climbed to 18% from 12% just a year ago, according to Jones Lang LaSalle. Rents are at price points now that exceeds what retail sales can perform. And that, my friends, is the same thing as saying housing prices are at their peak again, the most that they can possibly be for what people can afford to pay. Which is why car sales are way down, retail sales are way down. Again, you have less discretionary or disposable income. I can't go get a new car. I can't afford it. Why? Got to pay high rent or high mortgage. Higher than normal. Which also means I can't go buy this or that or that or that. Which means the whole country feels it. It's a trickle-down effect. And it starts with the highest thing you have to pay for. Because here's the thing. If you didn't have to pay for your house, right? Get this. House was free. Rent was free. Just we'll go back to the Roman days. I think they had free rent back then. Free housing. You would have so much disposable income. Are you ready for this? There would not be even kind of a recession. Shopping would explode. Car sales would explode. Everything would explode. New iPhones, new computers, laptops, you name it. We're doing it. But when you have this huge nut you got to crack every month, known as your mortgage or rent, damn, all I can do is afford to crack that nut. I can only crack that one nut. And there's some little small walnuts, smaller walnuts. Walnuts are kind of big. Some cashews. Got some cashews. Got to try to crack those nuts, but I can't. Why not? Because I've spent all my money on that first one. Just to live. Who the hell wants to work just to pay a bill and have nothing to show for it at the end of the month, end of the week, or anything else? What in the hell kind of system is this? It's called the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So what people need to do is find alternative sources of income during a time when it might even be kind of hard. With all this closing down of stuff or whatever, yeah. You can sit by, well, I lost my job and I'll just collect unemployment. Or you can sit by, collect your unemployment, and then say, I got to find a way to do something. What can I do? Maybe you can go on Craigslist and scour for certain things and then buy and resell or something. Go buy it here, sell it on eBay, buy that over here, sell it on eBay. Oh, I've got a product I could use. I'll put it on Amazon, sell it on Amazon. You know what I mean? There's other things you can try. And try you might have to, because this is not looking good. This is not looking good. This is 2008 all over again. And we saw how that went. The problem here is that everything is exponentially worse. Debt load of the world, exponentially worse. Debt load of the United States, exponentially worse. Debt load of the average citizen in the Western world, including the United States, worse than it was then. More credit card, right? Credit card debt has now, for the first time ever, hit over $1 trillion. Only in recent times. Why is that? Why is there more credit card debt all of a sudden? And that's the worst kind of debt because, 24% interest rate. 2% cash back. Yeah, baby. Get my 2% cash. I got $23 online, son. Oh, wait. 2%, 24%, take away 2%, 22%. So my rate is essentially 22%. Yes. Beyond absurd. Yes. But I get 2% back. Shoot. I'm going to put that towards my payment. Good. Wish you luck with that. So, I'll end the videos the way I usually do. I hope you got your precious metals. Maybe a little Bitcoin on side for fun. But I hope you got your metals, because that's going to be the one that definitely saves you. Take care.